What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I got another one of my tops list videos to share with you guys today. Now, one of my viewers out there actually requested that I do a top 10 favorite X-Men characters list, but since there were just too many to come up with, I decided to split it into two lists. So for this particular video, I'll be going over my top 5 favorite male X-Men characters, and then with my next video, I'll go over my top 5 female characters of X-Men franchise. So starting off real simple with number 5, I'm going with this really cool badass guy here. No, not Deadpool 8, simply Deadpool. The reason why Deadpool is number 5 on my list is simply because I think out of any character that's, individually in the X-Men universe, because I don't like to really count the X-Men universe as part of the rest of the Marvel universe, he's certainly the most entertaining character out there. I mean, you cannot think of a more interesting character that you would want to read week after week after week, and his crazy antics and his wacky personality and always wanting to break the fourth barrier and kind of like talk to you in person is really something you really don't see much in comic books. I don't even think DC has a character that would be able to compare with him. And Wade, having all of his unique abilities, being able to teleport, he has healing factors from Wolverine, he's an assassin, so what's not to like about Deadpool? I mean, you just cannot be bored of this character. You just simply cannot. And I really hope that they make a live-action film of him. And I've heard that he might have like a little bit of a part in like X-Force movie that that Fox is kind of considering on making. But if he ever does get his own individual movie, it has to be rated R, because there's just no other way you could do a Deadpool movie justice than to make it rated R. And I'm sure that's something we could all enjoy. Going on into number 4, I picked Beast. The reason I really like Beast is because Beast is one of those characters in which his appearance and his name does not even symbolize his own personality. I mean, when you look at him, he has the title Beast and he's kind of a scary character. But Beast is really quite gentle, and he's very intelligent, and he has somewhat of a very pacifist mentality about him. And that is a clear view of not being able to judge someone by their looks. And there's really no other character in the X-Men franchise I can think of that really embodies that better than Beast. I mean, if I was really going to a university like this, I would be happy to have Beast as a teacher, because, he's just that much of an interesting character. Yeah, in fact, I think he would be my favorite professor if I ever had, like, mutant powers and actually went to Xavier's School of Gifted Youngsters. So that's why he's number 4 on my list. Going on to number 3, I picked Professor Xavier. You gotta put the leader of the X-Men. I mean, Professor Xavier is just one of those mutants out there who has a very pacifist mentality about how mutants should execute their powers, and he's also good at helping people unlock their greater potential with their powers. And he's just the perfect embodiment of a mentor. I mean, we could consider him like the Yoda of the X-Men world. All he wants to do is help mutants, but he's not afraid to admit that there may be some humans that, are a little bit aggressive, and he's willing to take offensive actions if it's needed. I just wish that his viewpoints weren't quite so naive at times. I mean, many of us can say that that's really Professor Xavier's greatest weakness, is that he's so naive that humans and mutants can always live together, that it blinds him and it causes him to make some really stupid decisions. And it's really one of those flaws about him that makes you want to keep reading about him. I mean, I'm not sure if he has his own comic book series, but if he did, then I would find him. I think I would find that pretty interesting. Going on into number 2, I picked the killer and probably the most powerful mutant, in my opinion, of the X-Men franchise, and the first mutant, and that is Apocalypse. I'm so pumped up for the Apocalypse movie coming out next that Fox is going to put out, that I really hope they do this guy justice. Apocalypse is really like the embodiment of if you took the Joker, the Devil, and Carnage and gave them infinite power, and just that's really what Apocalypse is. And the reason he's so interesting is because, aside from being the very first mutant, his viewpoint about mutants and humans is very unique. He has no problems with killing either one. It's his ability to always be a constant threat no matter what generation of mutants he's encountering. That really makes him a timeless character. I mean, you know that once Apocalypse shows up in any storyline, you know shit's about to get real, and you know a lot of mutants are about to bite the dust. And it's just that mentality. It's kind of like that iconic figure that this is the guy. He embodies death to some of your most popular characters. And you know, I just really hope they do him justice. I want to see a lot of people. I mean, we saw a lot of people die in Days of Futures Past. I hope they amp that number with Apocalypse bringing in there, and it's going to be a pretty, truly shocking experience. And that leads me to my number one favorite X-Men male character of all time, and that is Magneto. Now, originally, many would want to compare Magneto and Professor Xavier to being kind of the Malcolm X and Martin Luther King of the whole mutant coming together thing. But the thing I really like about Magneto is I'm more at ease at agreeing with most of Magneto's ideas than I am with Professor Xavier. And I'm not saying the whole mutants should always be on top and should eradicate humans. I'm simply more of the, if mutants are being attacked by humans, then we have to send a response. And that's something that Magneto is definitely more willing to do than Professor Xavier. Professor Xavier is simply the type I would say, like Martin Luther King would say, if I'm hit, I will simply turn the other cheek. That's something I just could never do. And that's something Magneto would never do. And not only that, he's also a victim. He was a survivor of the Holocaust. And so we can sympathize that this guy has really gone through more terrible things as a mutant than Professor Xavier ever did. And although Professor Xavier could read into the minds of people and understand their pain, understanding someone's pain is a lot different than actually experiencing the pain for himself. And that's why I find Magneto a very sympathetic character. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is a villain, and there are many times where he goes way too far to the point where I think that someone should rip this guy's head off, but at least there's just more about him that I can relate to. And that is why Magneto, to me, has always been my favorite X-Men character of all time. And with that, those are my top 5 favorite X-Men male characters, and I really would like to know, what are your guys' favorite X-Men male characters? If you like this video, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track me in my future videos. And please join me in my next video where I will be going over my top 5 favorite female X-Men characters. So like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.